There is a kind of addiction that rarely gets named because it looks like virtue. It looks like generosity. It looks like loyalty, sacrifice, and strength. But underneath, it can quietly hollow people out. This is the psychology of people who are addicted to being needed. At first glance, being needed feels good. It gives structure. It gives meaning. When someone relies on you, your presence feels justified. Your existence has weight. For many people, this feeling isn't just pleasant, it's regulating. It stabilizes their sense of self. And that's where the trouble begins. An addiction to being needed is not about caring too much. It's about depending on dependency for identity. When someone's worth becomes tied to how essential they are to others, being needed stops being a bonus and starts becoming oxygen. This pattern often forms early. Many people who grow up in emotionally unpredictable environments learn that love is conditional. Attention arrives when there's a problem. Praise comes when you're helpful, mature, or self-sacrificing. So the nervous system learns a lesson. My value comes from being useful, not from simply being. As children, this might look like becoming the good kid, the mediator, the fixer, the emotional caretaker. You learn to scan rooms for tension. You learn how to soothe others before they ask. Over time, being needed becomes the safest way to stay connected. And safety, not happiness, is what the brain prioritizes. By adulthood, this conditioning often masquerades as personality. I'm just the reliable one. I'm the strong one. I don't mind taking care of things. But psychologically, there's often an unspoken fear underneath. If I stop being useful, I stop being loved. People addicted to being needed are often deeply empathetic. They notice what others miss. They anticipate needs before they're expressed. But empathy, when fused with self-worth, turns into self-erasure. The person's inner world becomes secondary to the maintenance of others. This addiction is reinforced socially. Being needed is praised. People say things like, "I don't know what I'd do without you." That sounds like appreciation, but to someone wired this way, it lands as confirmation. It confirms that their role is essential, irreplaceable, necessary for survival. And that's intoxicating. Over time, this creates a subtle trap. The person begins to unconsciously gravitate toward relationships where they are needed more than they are known. Partners who are emotionally unavailable, unstable, or dependent feel familiar. These dynamics activate the role that feels safest: the caretaker, the fixer, the emotional anchor. Healthy relationships, where needs are mutual and autonomy is encouraged, can feel strangely uncomfortable. When no one urgently needs you, there's a void, silence, space. And in that space, unresolved questions surface. Who am I if I'm not helping? What do I offer if I'm not fixing? This is why some people sabotage relationships when others become too independent. Not intentionally, but psychologically. If the other person heals, stabilizes, or grows, the bond can feel threatened. The addiction isn't to the person, it's to the function. Another core driver is control, though it rarely feels like control to the person experiencing it. Being needed creates predictability. If someone relies on you, you understand the rules. You know how to stay relevant. Emotional uncertainty decreases. In this sense, being needed becomes a way to manage anxiety. There's also an avoidance of vulnerability. Being the helper allows you to stay externally focused. You're always responding, supporting, advising. You're rarely sitting with your own unmet needs. Caretaking becomes a socially acceptable way to avoid being seen. This pattern often leads to burnout. People addicted to being needed tend to overextend themselves. They say yes when they mean no. They minimize their exhaustion. Resentment builds quietly, then leaks out sideways. Irritability, emotional withdrawal. Fantasies of escape followed by guilt for even having them. Ironically, the more they give, the less seen they feel. Because being needed is not the same as being understood. Others may appreciate what they do without ever knowing who they are beneath the function. there's also a grief that comes with recognizing this pattern. Many people realize they've been indispensable to others while being replaceable emotionally. When the help is no longer required, the connection fades. That loss can feel like abandonment, even though the relationship was built around need, not reciprocity. Breaking this addiction doesn't mean becoming cold or detached. It means separating worth from utility. It means learning that care is healthiest when it's offered freely, not compulsively. When it comes from choice, not fear. True emotional regulation allows for emotion without chaos. It doesn't eliminate feeling, it creates space around it. People who are genuinely regulated can acknowledge emotion, name it, and respond without being hijacked by it. Their calm includes access, not avoidance. A key difference lies in flexibility. Healthy calmness can coexist with emotional expression. The person can be calm in crisis and open in intimacy. Defensive calmness is rigid. It appears in all situations, even when emotional engagement is appropriate or needed. Another clue is recovery. After emotional events, regulated individuals return to baseline without residue. Suppressed or dissociated individuals may feel drained, numb, or irritable later. The calm had a cost. It required disconnection. It's also important to note that calmness can provoke insecurity in others. In emotionally charged situations, calm can feel like judgment, like distance, like superiority. This reaction says as much about the observer as it does about the calm person. We often read calm through our own emotional lens. People who are calm under pressure often become leaders, mediators, or stabilizers. But when their calm is built on self-neglect, they risk becoming containers for other people's emotions without room for their own. Over time, this erodes self-awareness and authenticity. Learning to differentiate between healthy calm and protective shutdown is a turning point. It requires asking not, am I calm, but am I present? Presence includes sensation, emotion, and responsiveness. Calmness without presence is still a form of absence. The psychology of people who remain calm when others are emotional reveals a spectrum, not a single trait. At one end is regulation, groundedness, and emotional literacy. At the other is avoidance, dissociation, and learned suppression. The behavior may look identical. The experience is not. True calm is not the absence of emotion. It is the capacity to hold emotion without being controlled by it. And that capacity, when it's real, doesn't silence feeling. It integrates it. In a world that often mistakes composure for health, understanding this distinction matters. Because emotional intelligence is not about staying unaffected. It's about staying connected, even when emotions run high.